Okay, so now we're going to cover the case statement. This is something that I would use every day. So we'll cover it in a bit of detail. It's quite important. So it will return the specified value based on a condition. I often use it to group a column into ranges or to create a flag. It is also known as if-else in some other programming languages. So I most commonly use it in a select statement, but it can also be used in a where clause or a join. For the syntax, we start by entering the first condition and then specifying what to return if that condition is met. And we can add as many of these as we like. In this statement, for example, if the three conditions specified are not met, then output 4 would be returned. Let's look at an example. So in this statement, if the credit limit is below 75,000, we are returning a statement which states less than 75,000. Then if the credit limit is between 75,000 and 100,000, it will return this statement 75 to 100k. And then you can see the next one, 100 to 150, and then we have a credit limit greater than 150, then over 150,000. Because I have wrote the case statement to cover every possible value, it will always fall into one of these groupings. However, whenever we use our else statement, it is always good practice to write other, just in case a mistake was made. Because rather than writing our final statement here, when credit limit over 150, it may be tempting just to write else and then this output over 150,000. But if a mistake was made in one of our previous groupings, everything else would fall into this. And it's better to write other just in case, and then you can see if any output of other shows up, you know you made a mistake. Because we have put our output in single quotation marks, it will be of character data type. So I've just shown here what each operator means also. So let's run this query in MySQL Workbench. So I'll just open up a new query here, and I'm just going to paste in what was in the slide. So again, with a case statement, you can see it can be minimized as well. But you can see it's case when, so it's our first column that we're creating in our select statement, and we do it straight from select. So select case when, and then we have our conditions and our outputs. And we just must always end them with an else, and then a final output, and then end as, and then we just name it what we want to name our column. And then in this case, we're going to count the distinct customer number to show how many customers fall into each of these groupings. And we need to group it then by our case statement. So I've actually just wrote 1 here, but I can change it to our column name. And then let's just execute that. So you can see only 2 people fall into the over 150,000 category, and the majority of people fall into the less than 75,000. So we could check this. So let's just semicolon, and let's show all the columns from the customers table. And let's see how many have a credit limit of over 75,000. Or sorry, over 150,000. So yeah, you can see there's only 2. So that's correct. And then if I do run, I'll just click into the other query. If I do run it, 60 people fell into the less than 75,000. Nobody falls into the other, which is important. Okay, so in the next video, we will cover more of the case statement, and we will use it to create a flag. So I'll see you in the next video.